Sorry, just give me a moment. Just see. Yes. Fiddling around with cameras, sorry. Just have to let this one. Oh no, this guy. Great. Alrighty. My word, this has been a long time. 3 or 4 months anyway. So get up a picture. Well, it's been such a long time since I streamed, I've forgotten how to do it. So hopefully this is all, it says everything's excellent. Even though for some strange reason I'm not signed into chat. And I've got a little bit of jazz running in the background. Not that I'm listening to it on my cans. It'll be Spotify, my own music soundtrack there. But in case I don't do much chatting, I thought maybe a little bit of music in the background. So what I'm going to do today, I'm actually going to use some gouache. So let's see if I can hold this up for the getting. Is that gonna? I don't know. Winsor & Newton Designer's Gouache Jet Black. So this is the black I'm after. Also got studio lights on, which are fairly bright. And so, so why gouache with pastel? Gouache with pastel because when you're using the pastel pigment, you'll get the undercolor coming through. So quite often I'll do a wash if I've got really dark areas of gouache. Grab a little tray, excuse me. Grab a little tray. We'll squirt some of this in here. They come out. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Don't want to waste any. So the gouache creates a really nice opaque background, and it works very well. This is pastel matte paper, and it doesn't ruin the tooth. So it's not like a plastic paint or an oil, which would ruin the tooth of this paper. It's very gentle. And I'm going to do his legs. Now they are going to blend into, we're going to see some lights later on in his legs. So here we are. This is great, isn't it? This is a pastel show. I want another one of these. These are just the lids of my Bam Pastels. And we'll use them for blending. Just a little bit of water. Too much. Keep it fairly black. So you go, oh, I thought you were going to be doing pastels. Am I watching someone colour in with gouache. Well, the pastels go on top of the gouache, and I won't get the light paper shining through underneath, so I can get a really nice dark. I might go get my other glasses. Sorry, I'm really unprepared, but as I haven't streamed in 3 months, I hope you'll give me a pass while I just sort of blow out the rust. I'm seated on my saddle chair, which is incredibly uncomfortable. If you ever go to the dentist, which I hope you do, you know, because teeth are important, but quite often they have these stools which look like a saddle, and would you believe it's called a saddle stool? And they're the most incredibly uncomfortable things to sit on if you're not used to them. And as luck would have it, it's been 3 months since I've sat on this thing. It's not like riding a bike. Actually, it is a lot like riding a bike. If you haven't ridden a bike for a while, you might know that uncomfortable feeling. You should get used to the seat again. Don't worry, we've got soft chairs to take away your pain of having to listen to me waffle on about getting back into the saddle. A little bit more water in. Gouache is a very unusual paint. Be a little careful that you don't put too much on, as that will run. You've got to have enough of the colour to darken it up, otherwise it won't work. Now hopefully you're not hearing what's going on in the background behind me, because my son's doing some 3D printing, which is why I've got my headphones on as well. Sorry, let me just bring up my chat window so I can see. I've got some problems with chat. I don't think there's anyone in here at the moment, so it's all good. In case someone does come in, be able to see what you say. So I just put a party one on. Coffee. It's the food. Put up a coffee emoji. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah, at least I've entered the chat. Fantastic. So the gouache can bleed on the paper. And when that happens, you'll get these sort of striations going up and down. That's a bit. You can use that as an effect. It's actually quite lovely to use. And I'm going to pastel over it anyway. if there's actual paint artists watching this, I'm sure you're grimacing, going, that is not a technique. What is he doing? Well, I don't know what I'm doing. It's okay. Just know I need lots of contrast going on with his pants, which are going to become probably a bluey black, I think. They're not jeans. I'm leaving that edge. So why haven't I been painting? What happened was, anyone who's sort of a regular to the channel will remember I went into this arts trail last year in November, and it was a huge amount of effort. It really was a lot of expensive too. I had to get a lot of frames, different papers for prints. Just felt like there was a lot of cost, and I really had to push myself to finish some paintings. So it's a bit too much water. And at the end of November, I was just exhausted from creatively burnt out. And well, the arts trail was great. I met some lovely people. But of course the economy had tanked. New Zealand's a very small country. And normally we punch above our weight in New Zealand. So that's because we don't have any money, so we've got to sort of be a bit more innovative. You've got a country of 6 million people, of which 1 million are overseas. So that's not a good advertisement, is it? If you've got more Kiwis offshore than onshore. But at scale, you get the same thing in art. With any business, if you can achieve scale, then you can afford to invest. We get a lot of artists, musicians go off overseas. Lord, my lord, there she is. She's off overseas. It's probably another one. I'm more of an 80s music man myself. When I'm doing a wash of this, careful David, don't let it run. I'll normally do it with a sponge. The sponge gives quite a good coverage. other than the brush. And I won't be putting black, at least I'm not imagining I'm going to be putting black over the top of this. It's going to be, I don't have it handy, it'll be probably a really dark phthalo blue, or that's probably what it's going to be. But let's carry on, because this is a bit of a test today to both get me back painting and technically, if I can remember how to stream. Plus I've got another camera over here recording, which I may use for a time lapse, or just maybe not a time lapse, but I might get some footage from this to talk about using gouache. A little 5-minute video or something. So I've been neglecting YouTube because I've burnt out. And so what got me back? Well, oddly enough, YouTube. I watched, what was the first one? They weren't related to art, but one was on photography. I enjoyed that because, what was his name? Simon D'Autremont, I think. It's a very French name. He's a good photographer. And he had a video about going stale as a photographer. And talked about a period of his life where he was just doing birds. Bird on a stick, he called it. And hundreds and hundreds of photos of lovely birds, but they're all the same. You know, it was a bird on a stick. So, on a branch. And I've seen artists do that as well. They just do the same thing. And you could say, well, they get good at it. But by the time they've got good at it, I've lost interest. You go, well, they're not painting for you, David. No. But they are. They're painting for an audience. And I find this happens in content creation for lots of things. Sometimes it's in music. Often people want the next album to be the same as the last album. The artist can't do that. Or they do it, and by the third album, you've heard it, right? You know it. You know what they're going to sing. Let's just try and get that out to the groove of his muscle. That's why people like Bowie and Madonna did it as well. They just kept reinventing themselves. Whether you like their reinvention or not, they were trying to stay fresh. And I've got some friends, well, they're internet friends. And they just write or film the same topic over and over and over. And what happens is you get satisfied. have you? We've all got this hormone that unfortunately it doesn't work in some of us as well as it should. And it's supposed to tell us when we're full. So it stops you from eating. Well, don't you think that happens in our minds as well? That eventually you consume, as we use that term for social media, consumption, and we consume the content until we're full, and you're like, oh yeah, I know what that person says. And while you want to hear it, so you're learning, that's fantastic. You know, give me more. I want that. I want lots more of that. And so you watch, I don't know, 20 or 30 videos of them. And then you've got it. You know, they might have been teaching. And you've learnt it. So you're done now. Thank you. And unless they go into a different topic, you're full. You know, emotionally, mentally, your capacity is done. And so this is what this Simon was talking about in his video, that you've got to, it was like, you need to push yourselves to your ability, to the furthest of your ability to stay fresh. Well, my art journey's been like that. And every painting I do, there's some complexity in it that I've not done before. Well, you could say, oh, he's that guy, David's that guy who does dances and portraits and occasionally he'll have a crack at a flower. But he paints people. I'm actually okay with that, the painter of people, because you know, there's a lot of people on this planet, and every one of them's got a story. And a lot of our stories that we tell ourselves or are interested in are to do with people. So I actually think painting people's quite a cool thing. That's just me. Your mileage may vary. How's that jazz going? It's all right. If you hate jazz, I'm sorry. Leave me a comment. Tell me if it works or not. I'm not really, you know, because this is an odd hour as well for me to be painting. It's the evening. But I spent this afternoon setting up. And getting all my lights sorted and camera placement and trying to work out, am I going to paint? And I was like, why don't you literally paint? Just do the gouache. You've got to do it anyway. It'll be fine. That's what I told myself. How hard can it be? How hard can it be? So Simon's Simon's video was very good about pushing yourself to the edge of your ability, and I thought, yeah, I've not really been pushing myself lately. I have in my work, so I've got a paid employment as well, because art is not going to pay the bills some years. Some years it will not pay the bills. Which leads me to the other video I watched, so nice segue to that when I get to it. So I'm a consultant by day. I've been helping a non-profit get good, or at least get recognised for being good. They're already good. I just need a little bit of help every now and then to believe in themselves a bit more. So the other video I watched, I don't know if you've ever seen him. There's a guy called Rick Beato, and he's a musician, producer, YouTuber. A pretty good channel, actually. You might sell guitar lessons or something. And he was having a podcast. You okay, honey? You all right? Okay. My wife's working hard in the background. That is another story. Anyway, Rick was doing this podcast with this guy, and he's also a YouTuber. I don't know him. I don't know his channel. But he mentioned, and he had a really cool device that he had invented to block devices from listening to you. It would block your cell phone, stop Siri, stop Alexa, stop Google. And so that was pretty amazing. But he was talking about art and how artists make no money as a musicians. Musicians don't make money. He's a musician. And how little he gets from Spotify. Robbers. And so he was saying, you know, if you're going to be a musician, you got to do it because you love it. You can't be doing it for the money. If you're trying to do it for the money, you're more likely to be disappointed. Not that there isn't any money in music. Someone else is getting it. Not all musicians. So I actually found that really quite inspirational, because while it was for music, we've all got this, none of our issues are uncommon. Sometimes we think we're special and, you know, it's only us who've got this problem. It's the same problem had by someone somewhere else. And he was articulating my problem. Stop worrying about the money. Stop worrying about that. Now, I watch people on LinkedIn and Substack. And I have a Substack, which is a blog. If you haven't looked at Substack before, there's a link in the description. And it's not going to make me rich either. But I see people, what happens is people can, it's a bit like Patreon, or you can subscribe, right? You subscribe to someone's blog, which is a novel way, because you used to get blogs for free. There we go. So you can subscribe to the blog. You can read some of them for free. Mine are free. And but there's a lot of articles and people who are like, this is how to become successful. You know, do these 5 things, and that will help you get subscribers. You know, they're not getting rich for the amount of money they're putting in. They keep trying the dream, and you know, they're happy. They're happy writing. And so for my art exhibition, I broke even. Unless you were to go, oh, what did you collect in wages, David? How much did you earn as a person, as an artist? Well, that would be 0. I just paid for all the materials. That's what got covered. So on paper, it didn't look like a loss. I got a bit disappointed. But I needn't have been, because my sales were actually very good for a first timer. And I sold 3 paintings. And a print, so that's not bad for a couple of weekends. For someone, you know, that people hadn't seen before. So that was very good. But, and other artists, their sales were 50% down on what they've been on other years, so like I say, the economy in New Zealand's not so great at the moment. In fact, it's, at the time of this video, it's really awful, because someone started a war right where all the oil comes from, and we're a very long way away from oil. Thick. It's a bit thick, David. And so petrol's skyrocketing, and inflation's going to go through the roof again here. So they're very quick to put up the prices and very slow to bring them down. So, you know, people are not going to the cafe as often, and except for my wife and I, because we really like going to the cafe. And so there isn't the discretionary spending, is where I'm getting to, for art. And I was really surprised. One of the things I learnt on the arts trail, I thought I'd sell some prints, or more prints than what I did. And all I got was people who went, oh, I only buy originals. Wow, I've got some originals here to buy. Oh, you gotta laugh, don't you? A bit of a sweet up. I introduced too much water. The paper buckles. So gouache, you can, it's no problem to use it on pastel matte paper, just be aware your paper will buckle, so you'll have to keep that in mind when framing. And I haven't tried it. I know there's different ways for watercolour to unbuckle paper. I'm going alright. Just look at my reference photo. Yeah. We've got the got a bit of an outline going. Let's crack on and do a bit more. And then I'll everything away and so I'd watch these videos, right? See if I can finish this story. We've got one that's saying, don't be boring, don't get stale. And I'm like, no, well, I'm happy with what I'm painting. And this particular underwater series, I think I've got another 2. I want to do in the series. So that's good, eh? Another 2 to do in the series, and then I need to think of something else to paint. I started to do some flowers. And got a little bit too I don't know. I lost interest. I need to make them more stylized. I need my own voice when it comes to flowers. Sometimes I watch YouTubes and they're replicating what they see, and they're very good. Well, they're too loose. They're so loose that I'm like, yeah, it's a picture, but I want some more structure. I want more structure. I want to be loose, but I want some structure. And I'm never going to be an Instagram artist. You know, although sometimes I saw one the other day and I thought, oh, I can't tell if that's AI or not. But I just didn't believe what I was seeing. And I think sometimes you got to trust your gut and go, okay, well, if that's really, if that looks too much like a magic trick to me, it probably is. You know, it's that old saying, it's too good to be true. It's probably too good to be true. But Instagram art too is very much like street art, as in busking. It's very performative. It's the theatrical, hello darling. Used to work with a guy from music business and TV, cinema. I had that darling. That's how they would talk. Oh, darling. I'm like, I was just so false. And he was a lovely guy. That was just the industry he grew up in. But I want to paint from my heart. And I think if you love someone, it's sometimes when you love someone, it's not all about just bringing them flowers and having a wow moment. It's about doing the dishes, making the bed, cutting the lawn, boring things. And not that I want boring paintings, but I want them to be, so when you do those things, when you do the dishes or some chores around the house, mundane things, they're acts of love. You might not be putting skyrockets in your fireworks at night and all that sort of stuff, but it's an act of love. And a lot of painting is, to me, is being willing to do the boring stuff. Let's move that here about so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. But like this stuff here, this is, I hate to tell it to you, but you're watching paint dry here. It dries really fast too, by the way. So that's a good thing about gouache. And you can reactivate it once it's wet. A bit of water and it'll reactivate. But this is foundations, right? Let's just move off this awful chair. Oh, my lord. I feel like I've just done 10 Ks on a bike. One of those guys I was listening to was a music one. And he was saying, you know, you gotta be in love with what you do. You know, I had to ask myself, do I love pastels? What if I can't make any money on it? Vincent van Gogh didn't make any money. Do you know who bought his paintings? His brother. What a loving brother he had. I need my brother to buy some of my paintings. Hope he's not watching. Actually, I hope he is watching. Not that I'm saying I'm a Van Gogh. I'm just saying he loved what he did. End up being a bit lighter, so we just won't put as much. The thing about art is it challenges you to see and to represent things in ways that we don't always do in our day-to-day lives, because, you know, we're sort of rushing through our lives. Silly, really. Always in a hurry. Yet we all end up in the same destination. Got a funeral to go to on Thursday. Friend's daughter. I think she was just 42. Just awful. So short. What do we leave behind? Who remembers us? You know, in 50 years' time, no one's going to read my Substack. Probably all going to have AI chips in their heads. They might. Someone might have a painting. Although I think we should be realistic about our art. You know. doesn't all need to last forever. And pigments fade over time anyway. Unless you're gonna put them in a place where no one gets to enjoy them. Get some dark in here as well, I think. Good-o. Sorry, I'm just looking at the picture to understand where the shadows are. We'll just get some darker areas in now, and so when we do his skin later, I saw a clip the other day, the 1950s film from Italy, and there was a couple dancing. Whew. She could dance. I was surprised because no societal issue there clearly at the time for hair under the arms. I thought, how refreshing. What a world we've become, eh? Thank you, Gillette. You know, I'm grateful to have a beard these days. Blow you, Gillette, with all your stories of being better. Shaven. America. A lot of great products and services, but my word, it seems to have forced us into a mold. been told how to look at a dress, what a grooming is. More color. It's not color, this is value. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Putting value on. This can be quite interesting to pastel over as well, because you'll oops, too much water. You'll clearly see these brush marks later on until they get covered up. Really dark in there. A bit here. So we'll just do that. Bumping into that camera. Right, I think that's it's pretty good. I mean, ideally I should put a bit around mouth as well, but I think we're okay for now. Use a bit of paper towel to clean up. Another rinse. And I think we can just have a look at her leg. I think I'm done, and then I see something and I go, you know what? Right down. Vinci he hated lines. He'd smooth them all out. And Michelangelo came along. And what do you find in his paintings? Lines. Michelangelo was sort of like, he was such a brat to Leonardo. Whatever he said. Michael wasn't going to have a part of it. He was going to do his own thing. Just be nice. Please be nice. Okay. Mark that out. Maybe a little bit of water. And just blot that a bit so I don't. Okay. Yeah. No kind of skin. Right, that'll do. But that'll do. I'm fairly happy with a bit of underpainting. That's what it needed. Some underpainting. And I needed to do some art, so it was a win-win all round. Stop this and close that. So I know it's been a long time and I'm pretty rusty in what I'm doing, but I'm doing. You know, and at the end of the day, sometimes just getting started and doing is enough. So until we meet again, thank you so much for joining me. You're probably watching this on the replay. Appreciate that. And we'll see you again another time on this.